Hello everyone, this video is for my sweeties, those of you who love the sweets, treats, and bakery items. As you can see, I've got 4 additional candles to review in addition to my first 3 that I reviewed, Pineapple Cream Puff, Pink Bubblegum, and Lavender Marshmallow, as part of the Spring Street Sweet Shop Bath & Body Works 2014 candle collection, currently in test phase in at least some or all of the test stores. Now we can assume that this sweet shop collection will definitely go wide. My guess is early to mid-January, perhaps February, but I can't imagine they'll wait longer than early January to release these as soon as the semi-annual sale ends in mid-January, I suppose. Now, the collection right now is, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, exactly how many are in there. I can double check here. Again, the first video that I did was for 3 brand new scents, happily brand new. That was Lavender Marshmallow, Pineapple Cream Puff, and Pink Bubblegum. And then, let's see, the other ones in that line include Strawberry Sorbet, Lemon Drops, Water Lemonade, and then the 4 that you see here. I'm a big fan of Cinnamon Sugar Donut. I'm so happy that it's back, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So the first 3 were decent. Pineapple Cream Puff was pretty light, more pineapple, very little bakery. Pink Bubblegum, spot on bubblegum, fantastic if that's what you like. And Lavender Marshmallow was very unique, very interesting, and I think will be a very nice burn. Now, as you can see here, there are Christmas lights here in the background. It is mid-late December, and we're talking about the spring collections, but I know that you guys love these sweet bakery candles, so I had to get the video out ASAP to give you a more in-depth sniff and review. Now, if you follow my Facebook at facebook.com/TouchTheFireTwice, which if you don't, please do go there and like it. I sort of will do the quick preview photos and first thoughts when I first purchase candles before I have time to record the video. So these ones I purchased back, I guess it was about 3 or 4 days ago at this point. And I uploaded photos of the 3. Cinnamon Sugar Donut actually was last week. But then these 3 new ones, Honey Cinnamon Crumb Cake, Pink Lemonade Pound Cake, and Raspberry Peach Macaron, were a few days ago. And in the post that I uploaded with the photos, I teased that one of them was a repackage of a failed test scent, one was a repackage of a scent that went wide, and then one was a brand new blend. Now, there were a couple of folks who guessed. Some were spot on, and a few of you were close but not quite there. But I'm happy to sort of reveal the secret, or reveal the repackages or of what they are. So let's dive in first with everyone's returning favorite. Did not come out for fall 2013, which was a sad day for fragrance lovers, for bakery lovers, but is now happily returning for, let's see here, for the spring 2014, and that is Cinnamon Sugar Donut. You cannot go wrong. This, I've always confessed that I'm not the biggest bakery fan. Now, don't get me wrong, I love sweet treats. I've got a sweet tooth, but in candle form, I don't always love them. They're not always very authentic, or they're just too sweet, too cloying, and I don't always want my home to smell like a baked good. I sort of like the moody candles or the herbal candles, you know that by now. However, when it's good, and it can't be beat, and that is Cinnamon Sugar Donut. Really top of the line, best bakery scent they've ever released. Really, for me, best bakery scent I've ever smelled. Quick overview, just a quick look at the candle there, just Cinnamon Sugar Donuts, part of the Spring Street Sweet Shop. The notes they're giving us now are: share the delight of a freshly baked vanilla cake donut covered in sugar crystals and crushed cinnamon. Spot on, exactly what it is. You see, I've already burned this one. It's just perfect. Now, this first came out 2011, which is, for me, the pinnacle of Slatkin & Co. Fall and winter collections 2011 were top-notch. I've talked about it before, and I'll continue to talk about it. This is part of that. It was plagued by low burn at the time. A lot of people thought the throw wasn't great. Mine self-corrected and ended up having a great throw. Last year, 2012, it burned like a dream. It had wonderful throw. Now, it wasn't overwhelming, knock you down scent, but I mean, a Cinnamon Sugar Donut really can't be. If it's going to be authentic, it's going to be somewhat light, airy, sweet cinnamon scent. It's not going to be a big red candy spice, and it's not going to be overly heavy, buttery, like a frosting or something, because it simply isn't that way. It really smells like you are, for me, it is very much a fall fragrance in the sense that you're in a you're at like an apple orchard, and they've got like that conveyor belt that makes cinnamon sugar donuts. Like the cake donuts, they drop them into the hot oil, they cook them for a minute or two, slide them through, drop them into the cinnamon sugar, put them right into a hot paper bag, and you've got this, hot, oily, sugary, sweet treat that really is so heavy and like, a lead balloon to eat, but tastes so good and smells even better. And this is just perfectly spot on. So fragrance fans will be happy to know this is the real deal. Hopefully, I cannot imagine it would not go wide. I don't know, but I would be completely shocked if it does not go wide. Next up, again, 3 new releases, or at least by name, new releases. First one being Honey Cinnamon Crumb Cake. It is just sort of mostly a white wax, kind of the off-white, and they show a wrapped image of what looks more like a sort of loaf of bread, like a pumpkin bread or zucchini bread or something like that, with kind of that thick layer of like the buttery brown sugar cinnamon mixture that goes on top of a sweet sort of cakey bread. And now the notes on this one are today's special, an irresistible baked treat made with fresh, soft cake, local honey, and a hint of cinnamon. So we're looking for cake, honey, and cinnamon. Not so much the buttery thing, so. This is nice. It's not super strong in a typical bakery note. It is very sweet. There is some cinnamon, not an overwhelming cinnamon like you may expect, like not at all like, say, the cinnamon frosting candle. And there is a baked note to this. I suppose it's cake. I get a little bit more of a shortbread. And I think the reason I get that is because I'm quite sure, that this actually is where do I put it now? This is a duplicate of a failed test scent from fall of 2012 that I loved, Sugar and Spice, which many of you have heard about. As you can see, I'm about halfway through this candle. The notes on this one were cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and sugared maple combined to make a fragrance that captures everything that's nice about the holidays. Now, what you can see on here, it made those sort of like, I don't know if they're like sort of like the Dutch shortbread kind of flour, flour, butter, sugar cookies that are a little bit like crumbly, like they have a little bit of a snap to them, rolled in like that, I think it's called Demerara sugar, like a thicker sort of almost raw sugar around the edges, to leave it kind of crunchy with the sugar. It really smelled exactly like that. So, spices, sugared maple, and a true bakery note. And when I sniff this to compare them, I mean, this really, if it's not the same scent, it is really close. The only difference I could possibly detect is that it's a little bit sweeter, but in a lighter way. Sugar and Spice, I think because of the maple note, which doesn't come out like maple syrup or maple candy, but I suppose is there, is a little bit of a thicker, more heavy cloying scent. Whereas this has a little bit of a light sweetness to it. So, where Sugar and Spice was a little heavy, this has a little, like a freshness, almost like a tiny hint of a fruit scent to it. Not really citrus. Again, they don't give us much. They're telling us cake, honey, and cinnamon. I suppose the honey, but it's almost like a floral kind of sweetness, like a nectar kind of sweetness. Again, this doesn't smell floral, but trying to get that note. But hey, you know what? Honey sometimes smells a little floral depending what kind of, nectar was used, what kind of flowers the bees were pollinating. So anything's possible. Not that I would expect Bath & Body Works to be that, authentic, or someone's out there to pick us up. Let's go. To be that authentic, but you never know. So the verdict, though, on Honey Cinnamon Crumb Cake, it doesn't smell like a crumb cake to me. Now, because I have Sugar and Spice candle in my head, that's what this will always kind of be. It's nice. I don't get a lot of cake to it, though. It's a sweet bakery treat, but again, they're close enough that they could kind of call this many different things. So this one's leaning a little bit heavily on the marketing, which sometimes that happens with all candles, but specifically for me, in my opinion, at least the bakery candles. Let's move things around here. and focus next on Raspberry Peach Macaron. Sugar and spice is on its way. Now, Macaron, they've had a few iterations of this candle or similar candles. They had sweet Macaron that had raspberry in it. They had the, oh gosh, what was it now? The gelato candle from the Italian collection that had similar notes and many folks thought was similar to the sweet macaron candle. And they've done a couple other blends that were sort of raspberry peach, kind of a generic, lean towards drink, could lean towards bakery, could lean towards general fruity. But let's give this one a chance. So again, just macarons, which I'm happy they're spelling it correctly. Years ago they had the lavender macaron that they called macaroon. As most folks know at this point, macaroons with two O's are the American treat that is just sweetened shredded coconut and sugar and maybe, I'm not sure if it's like egg whites or what's in it, to make little kind of haystacks of sweet, not really cookies, but coconut treats. And then there's the macaron, which is the French treat that is two little, for lack of a better word, cookies, but they're more a specific type of pastry made of almond flour and egg whites and not much else. They're very light and fluffy. They're two sides, and then they fill it with either a jam, a cream, a preserve, a frosting. There's a whole litany of, there are thousands of sweet and savory fillings that can be used in macarons. They're sort of the new trend after cupcakes had their heyday. So that is 3 macarons on the cover. The wax is a light pink, sort of your standard pink. And the notes say, the ultimate French cookie is celebrated in a unique blend of ripe raspberries, juicy peach, and almond cream. Now, the thing with macarons is you don't get a very strong almond scent because they're not almond oil fragranced. They're from almond flour, which is ground almonds, which is not, by the time you mix up a little bit of that with, with egg whites and things like that, there's not a super intense almond note to it, say like a marzipan or something. So usually most of what you're getting is texture, and the more of the taste or fragrance from macarons comes from what is added to the cookie part, or more than not, the filling. So, sniffing this. It's not as sweet as you might expect for raspberry and peach. Now, there's something in here. You know what? When I first sniffed this, as I mentioned on the Touch the Fire Twice Facebook, I was pretty sure that it was just a dupe repackage of the gelato candle, which I actually really ended up liking. It was sweet and creamy, like raspberries and cream, not exactly a gelato or sorbet, not necessarily a frozen treat, but a sweet, creamy raspberry that had a surprisingly intense throw earlier in the year when I burned it. And I enjoyed it. I think I have some of it left, but I could not find it to compare the two directly. But I don't think they're a direct repackage at this point. So I take that back. I think I may be wrong on that. So I said that there was a direct repackage, but that may be wrong. Now, with this, I'm not getting, there's very little fragrance coming out of the wax, which is disappointing. When I smell the lid, I get a little bit more of an intensity to it, and what I think I'm getting, really it almost smells like Vanilla Bean Noel with a hint of raspberry. I think that's where I'm going to go with this. I could change my mind because I didn't initially sniff it that way, but yeah, granted, the wax is a little bit cool. It's a little bit cool in the room, and it was sitting on the windowsill, but it's not cold. So there should be a throw coming out of that. I'm getting almost nothing. I'm kind of disappointed now. But I would say, yeah, I'm getting some of they don't say vanilla cream in here. They say almond cream. There might be cream that's not almond in there. Because really, yeah, from when I smell the lid, I'm getting more Vanilla Bean Noel, maybe a little bit less of the caramel, which I don't really get much caramel in that anyway, but less of that. To me, Vanilla Bean Noel, as I've said in past videos, really to me smells like a fat-free, high-sugar Greek yogurt. Not Greek yogurt. Like the watery, runny kind of Yoplait, like the popular through the 90s. The fat-free but 20 grams of sugar vanilla yogurt versus the Greek, which is completely different. to me, that's what vanilla bean milk smells almost exactly like, is a really sweet, sugary vanilla yogurt. And I get that in this, not as intense, obviously, with a hint of raspberry. I don't really think I get peach, so I may come back to this, and I'll try to burn it and review a little bit more on Facebook, and then also maybe in another video down the line to see what it smells like. I could end up liking it. For now, though, it's got to be my least favorite of the collection, unfortunately. If you're looking for a great raspberry, I don't know that that's it. And then finally, the last one, at least that I'm aware of for now, is Pink Lemonade Pound Cake. Now, they're heavy on the cakes with, you know, the pound cake, the crumb cake, the Creampuff, and so far, aside from the cinnamon sugar donut, there haven't been any true major hits, at least in my opinion. Again, I'm not a bakery nose, so some people may disagree with me, but so far I'm not in love with the new ones. But this one, Pink Lemonade Pound Cake. Now, I've never heard of Pink Lemonade Pound Cake. I guess you could make any sort of pound cake. What did they say? It's a pound of butter, pound of flour, pound of eggs, something like that. Pound of sugar, pound of butter, something like that. Either way, it's a sweet cake in the form of bread, but it's just a dense, moist, high sugar, high fat, high everything, delicious cake that leans more towards the coffee cake variety as opposed to a dessert variety. Pink lemonade, I've heard of like lemon pound cake, lemon glazed. I suppose you could make it pink. The lemonade part throws me off because it makes me just think of the drink and the pink lemonade or pomegranate lemonade candles they've had in the past. So I would think this would be kind of an intensely citrus candle, but we could be wrong. The notes on it say, a delicious combination of two classic bakery treats, includes notes of freshly squeezed lemon, rich cake, and ripe raspberries. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think of pink lemonade as a bakery treat. Now, if this is lemon bars or something, I don't know, but it's a little weird to me, too, that the collection includes at least two candles that have raspberry notes in it. It seems kind of oddly similar. Maybe they're testing the two and one will go wide or something. I don't really know. Just a clean colored wax. Now, I like this. There's something about this that I really enjoy. Let me try smelling the wax to see if I can get... Yeah, I'm not getting much off the wax. I don't know why. I'm getting much more off of just sort of smelling the inside the rim of the lids. In an interesting way, yeah, I think I like this more than pineapple cream puff, more than raspberry peach macaron, more than honey cinnamon crumb cake. Cinnamon sugar donut is not even in the running. That's just a clear and far and run away, whatever the phrase is, winner, stands on its own in a different league entirely than all of these. But comparing the other bakery ones, the cream puff, macaron, the crumb cake, and the pound cake, this I believe is the best of those. And it actually, for folks who enjoyed Summertime Soda last summer, part of like a late release to kind of, I think it was in the Lakeside Collection labeling at least, a late release, May, June test scent that was supposed to be lemon lime soda. And many people loved it. I wasn't sure at first of it, but I ended up loving it because it had a little bit of effervescence and really heavy strong on a true lemon lime, really like a Sprite, Sierra Mist, 7-Up, whatever you love, with a nice fizz, the way that you get from a peach Bellini or now champagne toast. Now, champagne toast, people think, and I agree, tends to smell similar to the Summertime Soda, less intense, a little more maybe like a nectarine to it. And I get this sweet lemon lime from Summertime Soda and even from champagne toast in Pink Lemonade Pound Cake. It's not super obvious, and I wouldn't even say particularly lemonade. It really is like a sweet lemon lime blend. And as far as the cake, it's there. Now, it's not cake in like the traditional bakery scent, the way that I think a traditional bakery cake note would be, like for people who buy tarts and things like that, where there's a ton of bakery options. It's bakery in that, if you were, let's say, what's a scent that we all would know? Like, say, Starbucks, if you were to buy one of their loaf things or pound cakes, where it's just kind of like that really moist, kind of almost like oily, or saturated with like a syrupy kind of sweetness from lemon or just a simple syrup in the cake part of it. It smells sweet the way that that does. So that's not like a fresh baked, like you've got the oven going kind of bakery. It's more like the actual, you know, open your bag and that this is kind of what you smell of the already made baked good. And perhaps, you know, maybe that's why I have issues with, you know, the bakery collections in general, is because I always think of it as baked goods being like the fresh out of the oven scent, or like, you know, the homemade cookies, or what it smells like when you walk into someone's house who is baking, versus, you know, whipping open a little Debbie package, or and smelling that and getting that to be the scent that you're looking for. But either way, I like this. Hopefully the pound cake sort of note will come out more when it's burning. But right now I love it for kind of the fresh lemon lime that it's giving. So either way, it's interesting. So again, I try not to make these videos super long, but I know that the sweeties out there would appreciate the in-depth sniffs and reviews on these ones. So again, honey cinnamon crumb cake, cinnamon sugar donut, pink lemonade pound cake, and raspberry peach macaron. Any questions, hit me up below, or please join the conversation over at facebook.com/TouchTheFireTwice. I would say from the 7 that I purchased within the Spring Street Sweet Shop collection, again, cinnamon sugar donut is just the best, so I'm not even going to include that in the running as far as my favorites. I would say my favorites would probably be the lavender marshmallow and the pink lemonade pound cake. If I had to purchase just 2 or 3, those would be the ones I would go for. So I hope this review helped. Stay tuned. I will have reviews on lots of stuff coming up. I will have sniffs and reviews on heirloom greens, snap peas from the fresh picked collection. What else? In-depth reviews of the Aloha collection will be coming up soon, and I think that's about it. I know maybe I'll have a Merry Mango video. I grabbed that, and then of course, probably not until around Christmas or after will be my winter Christmas holiday picks video. I'm thinking this year it may end up being a winter picks video because I don't think it will be up before Christmas. But if you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to give my advice as best I can. Let's wrap this video up, as I've been going on, and until next time, take care.